In my previous videos with the GT-1000, we have had a look at the amps and we've done a very brief overview setup kind of thing. But what I want to show you guys is how I would build two rigs using this, using the basic built-in amp sounds and then adding effects in there for two typical gigs I do. One of which is a 90s R&B funk kind of gig and the other which is a straight up filthy rock gig. So let's have a listen to the two presets with two different guitars and then I will go through and break down what I've done in each of them. Okay, let's look at the distorted preset here. I have got the following effects laid out on the bottom 5 rows. I've got a phaser, I've got an overdrive, I've got a rhythmic delay, I've got a chorus, and I've got a reverb. On control switch 2, I also have this set up to be the master delay. So let's have a look at some of the settings. First, we'll start with the amp. I'm using the maximum model. I don't want to turn that off, together with an IR that I made of my Marshall with V30s. This is a straight up amp sound. A few things I've done, a little bit of post EQ to just basically give it a very, very subtle V. If you've seen my video about the amps in the GT-1000, this to me is pseudo Mark series-ish. So that's what I've done there, and I've also cut a little bit of 3K and a little bit of 5K with a very high Q just to tune the IR a bit. But this sounds pretty chunky. I'm playing my SC245. So what I would add to that to start with is a little bit of room reverb just to take out some of the directness. It sounds like this. Sweet, so that's what the room reverb is doing. I basically leave that on the whole time. Then for a boost, we'll go right to the front. I have this tube screamer block here, drive on 0, level on 100. I basically bumped the tone a little bit. This is what it does. It sends this amp absolutely wild. Very, very nice indeed. In front of that, I have a phaser. So this is Effects 1. You can see I've just got the script phase enabled, just for that classic MXR script phase 90 kind of sound. That is pretty rad. Let's talk about this master delay, because this is what I'm using on all my lead stuff here. So I've got the, what is this? The Tape Echo, does say PX. Tape Echo PX, man, I need to get my eyesight checked here. Basically, I've got it set to a quarter note. As you can see here, feedback at 30. It is synced to the BPM, which I have set as control switch number 1. Pretty much stock settings, except I have cranked up the ducker sensitivity and the post and pre-depth. That means that while I'm playing, the delay isn't as loud as when I'm not playing. So just a ducked delay kind of thing there. It sounds real nice. And together with that boost, it's basically like having cheat codes for your guitar playing. Sweet, I've also got delay number 1 set up just for a straight rhythmic dotted eighth delay synced to the tempo. You can hear that one again. That's the kind of thing that I would use a lot when I'm playing live in a 3-piece, just to fill the space out. Then I'm using the chorus here. Where is the chorus? Right here, with the rate really low and the depth really low in stereo to give me kind of like a widening effect. It does this. Just for that ultimate 80s sauce, you know, you want to step on this when you play your big guitar solo in the night, if you have that opportunity. So that's pretty much how I would use a GT-1000 to build a live dirty preset and use it in Stompbox mode. Let's have a look at the clean preset now with a Strat. So the last year, I've been doing a few gigs with a funk R&B band, doing a bunch of stuff from the early 90s, where essentially you're playing like 1 or 2 chords for a whole song. And in that case, using effects really helps me get a lot of extra textures, especially on songs where maybe there wasn't any guitar. Maybe it's just a sample of like a keyboard line or something like that. So I'm using the Boutique model, and this is a straight up clean sound. Then I'm using effects block number 1 as a compressor on the X comp setting. This is what this does. It's just going to even everything out, and kind of it basically adjusts for the different output between the different pickups on this guitar. You know, the bridge pickup can be a little bit spiky compared to the neck pickup. So compressor on. There's the same rhythmic delay as the dirty patch, which again is great for filling out space. I've also got another master delay set up in there, as you can see at the end here. I'm using the bin drum echo, so like an Echo style thing for just an ambient style delay. It does this. I've also added a bit of hall reverb in here, which is located, where is my reverb? Way back here. So I'm using hall 2 with about 3 seconds, and I've cranked the pre-delay up. I really like the way this one sounds. For an overdrive all the way over here, I've got the Tube Screamer, slightly different settings. I've actually got a bit of drive and I've backed the level off a little bit. You get this? So again, for that really squishy, compressed 80s kind of thing, it's kind of the opposite of what I would go for if I wasn't doing a gig based around those kind of sounds, but you know, the gig calls for that kind of sound, so that's what I've got there. For the chorus, I have the chorus all the way over here in front of the amp. I've got it in effects block number 2, so using it in mono, and I've just got the straight up CE1 chorus. This one, when I reviewed the MD500, the standalone Boss 500 series modulation pedal, was one of my favorite modes in there, along with the Dimension. The Dimension's not in here, so I've gone with the CE1. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you butcher the intro and guitar part to Let's Dance by David Bowie. But essentially, again, going for that kind of real 80s kind of thing. CE1 chorus, I got a bit of that dotted 8th delay. One thing that is pretty attractive about this is that if you wanted to go out and buy, you know, a DD500 and an MD500 and an RV500, those 3 pedals would run you the same cost as this here in Australia anyway. It's almost like this is almost exactly 3 times the price of one of the 500 series pedals, and you don't have to worry about a power supply, one power supply, and you've got amp modeling, and there's like 4 extra delay blocks that you can run, including the master delay. That makes 5. You've got nearly every effect from those 500 series pedals in there, and you've got all the drives, all the compressors, all the fun effects. You can run 4 of those effects blocks, so you could stack compressors, or you could have filters and compressors and all kinds of stuff going on. And you've got an expression pedal on there as well. So looking at the GT-1000 through the lens of comparing it to, say, a big fat pedal board stacked with 500 series or Strymons or something like that to achieve the same tones. They're the same effects, but it's all in one package. And you've got the ability to go direct to the board with it, which I think is very attractive. So that is how I would build up 2 very different sounding rigs using the GT-1000. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.